All right, hey guys, it is Raven. I'm here with another interview for you guys, and today, this one is pretty much been years in the making. This one is really legendary. I'm here with REJECTEDREYNA. So how you doing?
I'm doing excellent, thank you.
As like you said, like before, like right before we started recording, this is like your first like actual official interview?
Yeah, I've done a couple text ones in the past, maybe like one or two, but yeah, I've never done a in-person interview.
All right, this is sick. No problem. All right, so I guess we'll start off with like the basic question. So where does the name REJECTEDREYNA come from?
I had a feeling this would be a question, and I can't answer it because I don't know. Well, Reyna is just a name that I go by. Everybody calls me Reyna. And rejected, I think I just picked something that started with the letter R sometime in the transition from middle school to high school. But that's really all I remember from it. I don't even really remember picking the name or which day I picked it, what year. So it's kind of all like a blur to me a little bit.
Yeah. So like, what were kind of like your like musical influences like growing up? Like, what'd you listen to?
Well, I mostly grew up on nu metal, which was, I know it might not be considered nu metal now, but Slipknot, Rob Zombie, Avenged Sevenfold, Linkin Park, stuff of that nature. And then, oh, hello. Yeah, basically just a lot of metal growing up, and then in my early teenagers, I got into people like Bones, Syringe, and X, and basically all a team sesh. Yeah. I think that's about it, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I know you did like a song like "Watch Your Back" with like Eric North and Sybyr like way back. So like, how did that come together? If we're on the topic of Syringe.
So me and Syringe basically connected when I was around 13. Super fucking young at the time. I performed with him in Chicago in a basement, actually. It was like one of the first DIY shows I ever did. And he liked my music, so we kind of kept in touch. I hit him up one day. I asked if he wanted to hop on this fucking Eric North open I had. He agreed, and that song was made, even though my verse kind of fucking sucks. But
I still think that shit's so legendary. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Man, and like Sybyr Syringe, like that's my homie too. I linked up with him back when I was like a senior in high school. Did like an interview with him and Shark Breach.
Yeah, Shark Breach is cool too. That's
yeah,
the homie.
Yeah. Shout out Shark. Shout out Anti-World for real. That is like some of my like early inspirations. But I guess since we're on the topic of like older music, so like your first like breakout track, "Fucking E-Girl" with A14. So how did that come together?
I needed to restart. I had just met Killtack, Lewis, Darky, A14, and all the Spider Gang group. And we were pretty close at the time. I'm not going to go into too much detail with now, but I basically just hit up A14, made the song, and that was my first release of like this era of REJECTEDREYNA, essentially. But there is music that exists beforehand. Some of it is public. A lot of it is probably fucking long gone, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of how it just happened, just naturally. Yeah.
So what kind of made you pick like the lamb, like as like your like signifier? Like what made you like settle on the lamb?
There's a lot of things. It's funny, we're in a church right now. One of the main things is definitely religion. I take a lot of inspiration from religion, specifically Christianity. And a lamb is kind of just like a sacred animal to me. It's my favorite animal. So I don't know, I kind of just, I watched Your Next one day, which has the lamb mask in it. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll pick that out. You know what I mean? I just kind of grabbed it from there.
All right, so I guess since we're like on the topic of horror movies, could you list your top 5 all-time favorite horror movies?
Yeah, I get asked this all the time, but I'm happy to answer it in an interview finally. Yeah. So Your Next is definitely up there. A Clockwork Orange is up there. American Psycho, August Underground, and maybe Freddy vs. Jason. I'd like to say that's my pick just because that's like a childhood movie. So those are probably the top 5 right there, yeah. Not in any order, except maybe Your Next might be in first, but that's about it.
So I know like last year you dropped your EP, like TERRORDROME, like that was like kind of like one of your first like complete projects as of recently. So like what was the process of like making that project?
A lot of fucking struggle. There's a lot of struggle in making it very versatile. That was one of my main goals because the whole purpose behind the project is that anything and everything is able to be horror. And that's why I list all of my music as horrorcore, because anything can be horror, you know what I mean? So indie music, if it's horror, I'm gonna say it's fucking horrorcore. You know what I mean? And I obviously know there's gonna be a lot of people that are upset with me because of that, because you know the pre-existing horrorcore. But that's kind of why I differentiate myself as new age horrorcore. You know what I mean? Just like a new wave of it. That's just completely new. You know what I mean? Of course, stemming with the idea is Loki Lucifer, my producer, Takizawa, Dick Lord, which the two are in Gore Street. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So on the topic of Gore Street, like how did that collective come together?
That was all Craig and Yox. I had nothing to do with really making the group. I was the most recent person to join, actually. I obviously started the horrorcore stuff very early. I'm not going to say I was one of the originators, even though I may be. That's kind of where it all started. Craig opened up the group, eventually asked me if I wanted to be part of it, sat on it for a bit, and I budged in, essentially. And that's where I met Dekma, another member of Gore Street. I already knew Dick Lord and Taki previously, but yeah.
So like how did, like I know you and Craig Scissorhands, formerly known as Guap, since they go like way back. Yeah. Both of you guys are kind of from like the same area, right?
Yeah, Illinois.
Yeah. So like how did you guys connect?
Honestly, just group chats. It started in group chats. I was obviously making a lot of music. They were specifically... You're good.
You good, bro?
They were specifically Kill Tax group chats. And Craig would just be in there, almost as a fan. I wouldn't say he was like a fan, but more of a supporter. Let's say that. And he was like outside friend. I'd say a fan is too broad of a statement. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he was like an outside friend. One day he sent me an open on a Corpse beat, Corpse from Spider Gang. And I was like, damn, this is really fucking cool. So I hopped on the instrumental and sent it back, and that was our first ever song, which is called Switchblade. It was on his EP Laugh Tracks, which is now deleted, but you can find it somewhere, I'm sure, for sure.
That's what's up. So I guess we're talking about group chats. This was about to come up. Yeah. Rejected chat.
Yeah.
Very old. So how did that come together? Because that's kind of like where I actually like met you, Kiltack, and Lewis, and kind of like got to know you guys.
Honestly, I'm a very social person. We would just honestly make group chats to communicate with people. There's nothing really more to it other than just liking to communicate with people. That's about it, really. It was just a normal Instagram group chat. We'd post on our stories, be like, who the fuck wants in? Whoever would answer, we would pick, and they would be let in the chat, essentially.
Yeah, that's what's up. So kind of like bringing it back to like you, Kiltack, and Lewis. Because Eastside. Yeah, because you guys have been locked in for like years at this point, like long time. So like, how did you guys like come together, and like what did you guys bond over?
Oh, dude, so much. Yeah, it was mostly, this is gonna sound crazy, but we were kids, so I'm not like shy to admit it or anything. We played a lot of fucking Minecraft, played a lot of Gary's Mod, a lot of Counter-Strike. Fuck, what else? We would just call almost every single day. Lewis is still my brother, dude. I haven't seen Lewis in 2 years now, but that is my brother. Like, he is blood to me, no matter what. Eastside was kind of just formed one day. We were like, hey, we should just make like a little group, not a collective or anything, because collectives are kind of fucking stupid. But we were just like, let's just make a group, and it was the Eastside Murderers, which was turned into Eastside, and that was it basically.
Yeah. Are we ever gonna see like a return of Eastside, or is that kind of in the past?
No, Eastside is still a thing. We're just kind of focusing on Gore Street to really like solidify that idea of horrorcore. Mm-hmm. As me and Craig, we work every single day. I'm on tour right now, 3 shows, but we still work every single day. Like whether it's organizing, planning, helping everybody else in Gore Street release, we always just kind of do shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Always just doing shit. Yeah.
So kind of like back on the topic of Gore Street, like what is like the plan for the collective? Like, are you guys gonna do like a tour like this year, or like maybe like a collective tape or something like that? Like, what are your plans with the collective?
Yeah. So we do have a couple albums planned for sure, and we plan on hopefully making the group fully U.S. based, as Dekma is foreign, Dick Lord is foreign, and Takizawa is foreign. So we plan on making the group eventually U.S. based, but that's obviously going to take some time. You know what I mean? It's not a one-day thing. Other than that, it's mostly just the album that we're working on. A lot of us are working on collab tapes, our own solo projects, and a lot of singles. Well, that's about it.
Do you got like any stuff that you would kind of want to like tease, or like anything you want to announce, like any projects you got coming up?
I'm not sure when this will be released, but I'm releasing my horrorcore gore grind EP called Carnographic. I got an album coming out, around 10 songs. Craig has another album coming up. We're working on the Gore Street album. I have a soft project in the making, and a lot of singles. That's about it.
That's what's up.
A lot of merch too.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, so make sure, if you guys aren't already tapped in with Rejected Reyna, make sure to go follow all their music. I'll have all their socials linked in the description down below. Big shout out to you for coming out and doing this interview. I really appreciate it. This was a long time coming.
Of course.
But yeah, anyways, also make sure to check out my stuff. I'll have all that linked in the description down below. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know who you want me to interview next. Peace.
Horrorcore.
Horrorcore.